What's good, Commanders fans? Just wanted to give you an update on Jayden Daniels and also do a preview against the Detroit Lions. The preview is, it is what it is. It's really not much to say. I'm not too optimistic, and a lot of people got upset with me last week when I picked us to lose to the Seahawks. Like, there's a couple comments where people were coming at me last week, but it is what it is. Like I said, I'm a realist, man. I just tell it like it is and what I feel and what I believe, man. When I feel like this team's gonna win, I step out there and say that. Like I had us beating the Falcons, we lost. I had us beating the Bears, we lost. So I mean, there's a couple games where I had us winning and I was wrong. So it just goes that way sometimes. I can't be like what's the guy's name who got fired with the scandal and stuff like that with Dan Snyder was still here, and he would pick Larry Michael. Yep, Larry Michael. He would pick us to win every game. We would always be 16-0 every year. Like I'm just not that guy. I'm very realistic with how I feel about this team. But let's start. Let's get back to Jayden Daniels here. So good news for Jayden Daniels. Now, like I said, I'm still iffy on whether he should play again. I think they're gonna play him. Like they didn't put him on injury reserve. We know how Dan Quinn is. He's an old school guy. He wants to fight to the finish. Like even if we're eliminated, like let's look at the schedule again. Let's say okay, so we have the bye week, right? They're gonna revisit it. It sounds like they're gonna revisit it during the bye week. Let me read the tweet to you guys too. So this is from Nikki Javala. She said Jayden Daniels update: no ligament damage and so no surgery. Excuse me. He wasn't placed on IR and won't be for now. The team will assess where he's at after the bye. So let's look at the schedule real quick before the bye. So Lions loss, Miami possible win. I don't know if Tua is going to play in that game or not. Like I don't know what's up with Tua. I think he's going to play, but even if he does play, he hasn't been good. This actually, like I hate to say a get right game for the defense, but the Dolphins game, like that's probably your best opportunity. Looking at the rest of the schedule, I mean, you have JJ McCarthy who's up and down, and Bo Nix looked awful last night. He looked bad. He looked really bad. It was between him and Geno Smith. It was like a who could be worse contest out there. And Geno Smith actually had a couple of good plays. I thought Geno Smith actually had better throws than because Dante Thornton dropped a big pass from Geno Smith last night. If he would have caught that, then the Raiders probably won that game. The Raiders should have won that game last night. It is what it is. They should have won that game. But just looking ahead, I mean, like if he comes back for the Denver game, which is a tough defense with Bonito, Pat Surtain is going to be back. It's a tough matchup. So I mean, you'll be we're 3-6. So let's say we lose to the Lions, 3-7. You beat the Dolphins, 4-7 in Spain. But big if, because the Dolphins they're not good, but they have enough weapons like Jalen Waddle and Devin Achane to do enough to beat us and Ollie Gordon. So you're 4-7, and then you just got to run the table and win the last 6 games to go 10-7. Which even 10-7, looking at the rest of the teams, like 10-7 might not make it. Like it seriously may not make the wild card. That's how good the records are for the NFC currently right now in the wild card. So I mean that's what they're betting on. And even if like we don't make the playoffs, like I guess his development is something that they're looking at, just the reps. And let's say Terry is back. So there's some news about Terry. Like Terry was smiling at practice. That could mean nothing. I mean, you can be injured and smile. It doesn't really matter. But a lot of the beat reporters were tweeting out that Terry McLaurin was out there smiling and whatnot. So, John Conn said, as we were walking into the building, wide receiver Terry McLaurin and quarterback Jayden Daniels were walking out and smiling. Yes, felt like the glory days of 2024 that just haven't been visible in 2025. So I guess that's positive news that they were both joking around and smiling. I mean, these guys just have not played together at all really much this year so far. So it'd be nice to see that. I mean, if Terry does come back and Debo's healthy and Treylon Burks, it looks like he's like getting up to speed and Robbie Chosen is getting open because I think he's at this point is better than Jalen Lane. Then the receiving core is not terrible. The receiving core is about average, where that Seahawks game, it was just bad. That was a really bad receiving core, really bad. Or just not just bad. I mean, Luke McCaffrey got hurt too, so you just didn't have much. You're asking Treylon Burks to make some noise when he just got signed and just got brought up from the practice squad. So personally, I wouldn't play him. He already has a knee, a hamstring injury, and a dislocated elbow. I don't see us making the playoffs, so I wouldn't bring him back. But I get the developmental aspect, and I get the reps, and I get that they believe that they can run the table and win 6 games. And end up being 10-7. And like I said, I don't think 10-7 makes the playoffs. I really don't. So you guys let me know what you guys think on that. I know a lot of people are torn, but I would put them on the ice, man. I would put them on the ice and just let them relax and get that high draft pick, man. Get that high draft pick. All right, let's get to today's word from Sleeper, and let's get back to the video. Oh, let's go to Commanders fans and shout out to today's sponsor, Sleeper. Just want to hook you guys up with a great deal. First time users get 100% deposit match up to $100 if you sign up using the link down below in the description for Sleeper. Remember the terms and conditions apply. Also, there's a free $20 entry as well that I'm going to help you guys out using promo code Oliver. You guys can get those deals for first-time users using the app. #1 daily fantasy sports app, Sleeper. So let's get into the picks for the game against the Lions. Now, of course, Sleeper is you pick more or less on player props, receiving yards, passing yards, rushing yards, receptions, all kinds of stuff that you can think of for player stats. You pick them more or less on their player props. So we're going to go with a system play. 6 out of 9 quarterbacks that have played against the Commanders have gotten more on their passing touchdowns from Geno Smith, Sam Darnold had 4 in the first half. So we're going to keep it going with Jared Goff, more than 2.5 passing touchdowns, and you pair that with the free play with Daniel Jones over a half a passing yard. So let's keep it going, unfortunately, with players getting more than their passing touchdowns. So 6 out of 9 quarterbacks. Pat Mahomes did it. Dak Prescott did it. Basically almost every quarterback we played. Like I said, Michael Penix went over his passing touchdowns as well. So let's keep it going with the system play against the bad Commanders defense. Let's get back to the video. Peace. All right, so let's get into the preview here. So the Detroit Lions, right now they did just lose to the Minnesota Vikings. I don't really have many stats on them. It's like this game, you don't really need to get into the stats much, to be honest with me. You already know what they have. They're coming for revenge from last year when we beat them in the playoffs. Jamison Williams, I know they're probably going to do a trick play with him and try to, do something crazy like that. They'll probably have an offensive lineman line up as a tight end or as a receiver. Basically, like what they did to Dallas last year when they blew them out and just rubbed it in their face, like Penny Sewell and other guys. Now, they do have a bunch of injuries that definitely could impact the game. One of their left guard, Chris Mahogany's on IR. Giovanni Manu, one of their left tackle, is on IR. He's a backup, I think. Taylor Decker's questionable. Penei Sewell's questionable. He got hurt and he left the game last week, I believe. And Dan Skipper, the backup left tackle, he's questionable. So they are banged up. They do have some injuries on the defensive side of the ball, too. They have a bunch of injuries, too. They have a couple guys on IR. But it doesn't really matter. Like Malcolm Rodriguez, he's out. Marcus Davenport on IR. Zach Cunningham, IR. DJ Reed on IR, Josh Pascal out. They have a bunch of guys that are injured, but Kirby Joseph most likely is not going to play either. And that's the guy that Terry was cooking last year. De'Ami Brown was cooking Kirby Joseph last year, too. That's when that was playoff De'Ami Brown right there. That's basically what we need to be the Lions. I'm just joking because I know people get worked up about De'Ami Brown and Olamide Zaccheaus not being brought back, but it is what it is on those guys. But we definitely could use playoff De'Ami Brown right now. So, I mean, they got some good guys. Brian Branch is good, and Aiden Hutchinson and all those guys, and Dan Campbell, we know what he's about. So they are looking for revenge, and they probably will get it. They probably will. This game, the game plan, of course, is run the football. Chris Rodriguez, he was named the captain. I would give Bill a few carries, but I would just use C-Rod as the lead back. He's just more physical at this point, and he's seeing the field a little bit better. I'm not saying reduce Bill's carries, but right now I would just start off with C-Rod and then sprinkle in Jacory's the change of pace back right now. But yeah, keep away. Run the football. Run the Naval Academy style offense with Marcus Mariota. Don't turn the football over. Please don't drop the ball, Debo. Please don't drop the ball, Zach Ertz. Have a little bit of yak. Sprinkle in Ben Sinnott. Give him some targets. Robbie Chosen needs to be elevated. Treylon Burks needs targets. Jalen Lane catch the football. Marcus Mariota hang on to the ball. Just don't turn it over, which he does a solid job of for the most part. He's had an actually pretty darn good season as a backup, in my opinion. And Debo, don't drop the ball either. And let's create some separation if we can. And Cliff's got to scheme some guys open for sure, man. I know it's going to be tough against the Lions defense. They play a lot of man, though. They play a lot of man. And they do have a darn good defense and a darn good coordinator. And special teams has to be on point. Dan Quinn has to be on point, too, with timeouts, clock management, all kinds of stuff. Now, all that to be said, I do have us losing this game. You got to tackle, of course, wrap up. You got to force a turnover, too. Like, we forced a bunch of turnovers with Jared Goff last year. We had the pick 6, And then Jameson Williams had the silly reverse play interception that he had, and that was after he was doing the silly celebration where he was, gyrating on the ground after he got the touchdown. So, but yes, I say all that to say this: we will lose. I have us losing either 31-10 or 38-20. We definitely will lose by at least 15 for sure. I have us losing by at least 15. I do think one Lions player is definitely going to get 2 touchdowns. It's going to happen whether it's Sam Laporta, Amon-Ra St. Brown, or Jameson Williams, or David Montgomery, Jahmyr Gibbs. Like, somebody's going to get 2 touchdowns by themselves for sure. I could possibly see a hat trick as well. Mikey's got to step up. He's going to be playing inside, I think, per John Keim or per Dan Quinn. He said that. And who was it? Mikey. And it was somebody else who he said is going to be playing inside. Mikey and somebody else, I can't remember who they said is going to be lining up inside. So we'll see what happens with that. With the corners, with Marshawn being out, other guys got to step up now. Noah he probably has to be active. John Jones will be on the inside and outside. Both can play either spot per Dan Quinn. So we'll see how those guys do. Jacob Martin, we need a big game from Jacob Martin. Deron Payne's got to step up. Frankie Louvu, since he's not suspended, please don't do any hip drops or anything like that. And let some of the young guys play. Let some of the young guys spin. Let them spin, man. Ali Cahoe and Jordan McGee and Kane Madrano. Let those guys run with Sam Laporta, man. They're going to get beat by Sam Laporta sometimes, but it is what it is. Amon-Ra St. Brown, too, he's going to cook. So it's going to be a long day. It's going to be a long America's Game of the Week at 425. So, all right, guys, as always, you guys let me know what you guys think. 31-10 Lions or 38-20 is what I see happening on Sunday at 425 at FedEx. So, Northwest Stadium. So, all right, guys, Raiders. Peace. Have a good weekend.